They walked in with swagger, smirking like villains in a teen drama.
I can't wait to show you who is the real warrior.
But karma laced up its gloves and gave a strong response.
In the gameness of Scatzy. Look at this.
These mean girls were handed a brutal reality check, served cold, and it's the kind of justice that's just so damn satisfying. This is fighting as art. Let's go. Dakota Ditcheva versus Valentina Scatzy. The fight between Dakota Ditcheva and Valentina Scatzy was a spectacle, with the cocky Scatzy talking enough trash to make Dakota unleash the beast that's best left quiet.
I can't wait to show you who is the real warrior.
Before the fight, Scatzy was fired up, eager to prove she was the real warrior in the cage.
I'm very excited for this. I can't wait to step in the cage and fight, and I'm ready, and I can't wait to show you who is the real warrior. and just this.
The cocky Scatzy came out fighting like a lioness, full of fire and looking to make a statement.
Nice. I think this is the only way that...
But Dakota Ditcheva quickly shut that down with vicious front kicks to the body.
Make it there. Oh, lovely front kicks. Go after it. Beautiful.
Forcing Scatzy into a clinch, and that right there was like jumping from the frying pan straight into an oven.
Got to get around these legs. Oh, knees.
Inside the clinch, Dakota unloaded her signature knees, first smashing into the midsection.
Oh, and look at that. Scatzy.
Oh, beautiful from Dakota. Beautiful from... This could be it, guys.
And then cracking Scatzy right in the face.
Good head position here from Dakota. On the face of Valentina Scatzy.
Dakota's violent beatdown resulted in Scatzy's eyes swelling up like a balloon.
We might not see number two, so I don't think she's going to be able to see out of that eye.
By the end of the round, Scatzy looked like she'd gone through a meat grinder, and the doctors had seen enough.
At 5 minutes of a round number...
Sandra Sucker. They say the quietest person in the room is always the most dangerous, and Polish fighter Wiktoria Czyżewska learned that the hard way when she faced off against Lebanon's Silent Storm, Sandra Sucker. Heading into the fight, Wiktoria felt a little too bold, giving Sandra a cocky shoulder shrug during their face-off. Sucker didn't flinch, but once the cage door shut, she showcased her brutal side. Within seconds, Sandra took Wiktoria down with a vengeance and unleashed pure violence from the top. It wasn't just a beatdown, but a lesson in humility, and Sandra served it cold. Helen Peralta versus Lisa Malden. Lisa Malden is usually all smiles, until of course you cross the line, and Helen Peralta did just that, twice. First by mean mugging her at the weigh-ins, then by staring her down like she owned the cage. It was a big mistake. Lisa came out like a storm, scored an early takedown, and from there it was 3 rounds of pure punishment.
Big overhand.
So far, some highlight
For both women, but right now...
She mauled Peralta with elbows, ground strikes, and relentless pressure.
weight. The longer this fight goes, and now we got the full mount.
By the third round, Peralta looked broken, and Lisa sealed the deal with a vicious finish, turning disrespect into regret.
Some nasty strikes from the top. Malden flurrying, and there...
Amber Librock versus Arlene Blinko. Back in 2018, Arlene Blinko and Amber Librock faced off like 2 street rivals, full of fire, jawing like they were seconds away from scrapping in their street clothes. But once the cage door shut, it was a one-woman show. Blinko did all the talking with her fists, blasting Librock with heavy right hands that had bad intentions written all over them.
Feint, use footwork, and good catching of the artists. Utilize those kicks like that.
It didn't take long for her to rock Librock and drop her.
Be successful. Nice defensive footwork and a good counter right hand by Blinko, followed by a...
And then lift her off the ground for a slam so brutal, the follow-up shots felt like overkill.
Oh, and there's the power now. What a slam by Blinko. Shades of red.
Kamila Smoguleka versus Marta Linkiewicz. Fame, MMA's Kamila Smoguleka, better known as Zushi, might be a rock star outside the cage, with all the swagger, flash, and antics, but that cocky energy crashed and burned against Marta Linky Master Linkiewicz. Zushi came out guns blazing, throwing wild shots in the opening seconds. But Marta wasn't phased.
Tutaj na dole.
Ależ wojna dziewczyn, kto się tego spodziewał?
Nie było dłuższych pojedynków. Pierwsza runda.
She took control early, turning the clash into a messy, chaotic catfight that looked more like a bar brawl than a sanctioned bout.
Ogólnie w żeńskim MMA
Są już mocno zmęczone już.
została ostatnia minuta tego.
By the end, Zushi was bruised, bloodied, and swinging on fumes. Marta's fists kept landing, and the judges made it official, giving Zushi a heartbreaking loss and some negative aura points.
Wskazać jej przegraną. Raz, ależ prawy na głowy. Marta Linki!
Machi Perversu versus Roxanna Tutu and Betty Sore. These girls thought clowning this dude's bald head and throwing elbows into his stomach was a flex, but they were about to learn the difference between TikTok clout and cage fight chaos. This guy, Machi Perversu, took on Roxanna Tutu and Betty Sore in a 2-on-1 fight, where these cocky girls came at him like a pair of caffeinated mosquitoes. But Perversu wasn't built for slipping, and in one smooth motion, as he turned the ring into a Beyblade arena, whirling the girls around with punches that looked like as they kept charging in like hobbits storming Mordor. But Perversu brushed them off like a bouncer shooing away drunk raccoons at 3 a.m. Eventually, the fairy tale ended like most Disney knockoffs, with a harsh dose of reality. Lucy Drobenka Kotlarova versus Regina Labayova. This fat lady, Lucy Drobenka Kotlarova, came into the fight thinking her size alone made her the boss. At the weigh-ins, she tried to throw her weight around, trying to intimidate Regina Labayova with pure bulk and attitude. But Regina wasn't built to be bullied. Once the bell rang, she let Kotlarova burn herself out, making her huff and puff like a treadmill in hell. The cardio killer was real. Then came the meltdown, when Kotlarova charged forward like a runaway shopping cart, missed, and face-planted so hard she practically knocked herself out. Regina walked away with the W, barely having to break a sweat. Now that's what you call effortless domination. Oola Sikach versus Mua Boy. She challenged this man to an MMA fight, but it ended in tears, regret, and a whole lot of secondhand embarrassment. All of this went down back in 2021 in Poland. The woman charging in with fury is Oola Sikach, better known as Arm Power Girl, an arm wrestler and fitness instructor with biceps that could crush soda cans. Her opponent is a guy known as Mua Boy, a beauty ambassador who often turns into a beast against lesser competition. From the very start, the vibe was off. The fight was like an awkward influencer collab. In round one, Mua Boy slammed her to the ground like he was late for a runway show. What followed was the beginning of the end as Mua tossed her again, climbed into full mount, and suddenly the Arm Power Girl looked powerless. The ref eventually stepped in, but the damage was done. The cocky girl left the cage in tears. Essence Freeman versus Dr Meline. This girl really thought she was either a rapper turned fighter or a fighter who drops mixtapes between rounds, because in the build-up to NFC 169, she was spitting bars like she was headlining a rap battle instead of a fight card.
Everybody's got a plan until they get punched, and I promise I hit harder than that final exam you took to get your degree.
But all that lyrical fire faded real quick when she stepped in with Dr Meline, who wasn't here for punchlines. The so-called rapper got silenced fast as Dr. Meline picked her apart piece by piece.
Your winner by TKO!
By the end, the only bars Freeman dropped were cell bars because she just got locked down and dissected like a biology lab frog. Mikkel Lauren versus Cecilia Brachus. Michaela Lauren is practically a walking highlight reel of cringe, famous for her dirty pre-fight antics. And when she locked horns with the undefeated queen Cecilia Brachus, she dipped right back into her bag of awkward energy. Once that bell rang, it was no longer Michaela's circus, because Brachus was here to deliver a masterclass in humility. From the opening seconds, Brachus dodged those wild haymakers like she was dancing through raindrops. While Lauren flailed like she was trying to swat invisible bees, Brachus pieced her up round by round, picking her shots like a sniper with a PhD in pain. By round 6, Michaela had taken enough punishment to rethink every pre-fight joke she ever cracked. Maybe if she'd shown a little humility, she wouldn't have walked out with her face rearranged and her ego duct-taped back together. Veronica Macedo versus Chrissy Auden. Veronica Macedo, who now goes by Veronica Hardy after marrying former UFC welterweight Dan Hardy, scored one hell of a highlight reel finish in this one. If you've watched Macedo fight before, you'll know her technical striking is at the forefront of everything she does well. At first, gauging her opponent's timing was front and center in her mind. And Veronica was reading her like a book. So naturally, it didn't take long for her to find an opening for the kill shot. Holly Holm versus Alana Jones. Holly Holm's transition from world-class boxing champion to MMA star was a huge success. And just before she found her way to the UFC, she was already showcasing a developing game.
All the feints and fakes. She is moving and getting out of the way enough, but good distance.
As a veteran boxer, Holm's control of distance was already excellent.
Running track, pounds when she first started training.
But the most surprising thing about her MMA transition was how masterful her kicking game became.
MMA just to lose the weight. Now she's a professional fighter. Kick.
And though her opponent didn't know it yet, she was being walked into a trap.
I think it sounded louder than it really was.
And before she knew what had happened, Holm's kick was striking her on the side of the head like a baseball bat.
Hurt Jones. Oh, but that one does! It is...
Savannah Marshall versus Femke Hermans. When Savannah, the silent assassin Marshall, took on Femke Herman, the fans had a good idea of which way this fight should go.
Herman's going to react.
These ladies were both pretty willing to engage in a firefight.
Working for radio, and you're targeting her. Black, white and gold of Femke Hermans from Belgium.
But Marshall was very clearly the aggressor in this bout, and her power advantage was becoming clear.
Flat-footed, and if she's open to one of those...
Then finally, the moment came, a huge intercepting hook that ended this fight before anyone knew what the hell had happened. A dominant win and a brutal finish. Alicia Bombgardner versus Terry Harper. Terry Harper didn't know it just yet, but her title reign was about to come to a shocking end. Alicia Bombgardner might have been the challenger, but she was clearly the more confident fighter here. Harper tried to apply some pressure, but underestimated the power coming back at her.
Momentum at the end of this. I don't know why she became world champion.
The difference lay in the fact that Baumgardner was more than capable of hurting Harper with her punches.
With the right hand over the top, and Harper is heard from Shannon Courtney, although Courtney had failed at the scales, and now another.
Harper just couldn't get her game going.
Strong in this very ring.
Waiting all the time to sort of let it go.
One shot from Baumgardner to the chin caused Harper to stiffen up and totally lose the ability to continue, like she was knocked out on her feet.
A waste of Harper at the end of this contest, but she walks onto her right hand and she stands virtually stock still.
So, those were the moments when cocky fighters got served a steaming plate of karma, extra spicy. Which humbling hit just right for you? Let us know in the comments. And if that dose of justice satisfied your fight cravings, smash that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss another beautiful beatdown.